In 1981, my father defected from Romania, which was a communist country. For approximately 2 years, we had no idea where he was, if he was dead or alive, until 1983. During that 2-year period, we had experienced a series of events that probably marked not only my life but shaped my personality. We were under house arrest for a substantial amount of time during that period. My mom lost her job, our phones were tapped, we were often not allowed to call out. I was beaten in school and set as an example of what happens to traitors, and naturally I didn't want to go to school anymore. And we were constantly bombarded with questions by the equivalent of the FBI. Sometime in 1983, we got word that my dad had reached the U.S. and he was living in Detroit, and we obtained political asylum. We moved to Detroit, and we lived in a not so great area. But despite that, I think that period in our life really marked the way our journey was going to go forward. We didn't have money. I wasn't going to school because I didn't want to go to school because of my prior experience. But something made me mobilize. There was a school across the street, and I knocked on the school door and asked them to take me in. And they did. The guy at the corner store, which was of Arab descent, realized that financially we weren't doing so well and gave me some food stamps and gave me the address to the welfare office so we could go on welfare. In the meantime, my dad left so he can go finish his law school because he was a lawyer in Romania, but in the US it wasn't recognized because there are such different systems that were not comparable. Eventually my dad came back and we moved to Ann Arbor, Michigan. I went to the University of Michigan and I got a bachelor's degree in political science, and I got a scholarship to Loyola Law School, which is how I ended up in Chicago. But I really think my time in Detroit was very impactful. A teacher there literally not only changed but saved my life. He not only believed in me, but he made me believe in myself. And he said that education is the one thing that nobody can ever take away from you. And I think I kind of clung on to that and went full throttle. And throughout my life, I kind of incorporated that concept in all my daily activities, my children's lives, and my community work. You know, a lot of people have this negative conception of communism. Okay, yeah, we didn't have water, heat, gas, functioning hospitals, but I think because of this lack of have, people appreciated things they received. If you got an orange, it was the biggest deal. And I think more importantly, people were valued for their opinions and their ideologies as opposed to the materialistic objects that they have in their possession or that they strive to have in their possession. You know, unfortunately, I think in today's society, people don't appreciate anything. They always want more and more, and they're never satisfied with what they have. And I think that it creates a huge impediment, I think, just to being happy. And I think because of the have-nots, I really learned to appreciate what I have and appreciate hard work and strive towards making people be focused more on principles as opposed to materialistic values. I don't see that period as cumbersome. And I was able to develop an imagination because you didn't have things to play with. You played basic, innovative games that you came up with. And we didn't have external stimulus like iPhones or iPads or Nintendo or whatever the technology is today. but you are forced to be creative, and it forced you as a collective to communicate, which I see that rarely. You see people today sitting at the same table and texting to each other across the table. That lack of communication results in a lack of human bonding, and that creates, I think, a lot of societal problems. I think that's such a valuable lesson that was taught during the communist era. And I'm always the type of person to see the glass half full as opposed to half empty. And I think maybe that, I don't know, the perception came also from trying times. Even in Detroit, we didn't have much, and we were confronted by so many limitations. But it exposed me to a variety of levels of society. It exposed me to what it means to financially struggle. It exposed me to different societal classes. It exposed me to different racial backgrounds. And I think that experience makes me, I don't know, a well-rounded person that can understand different facets of a person's life. You know, most people have regrets in life. I don't know if I have regrets. I think unless they're exigent circumstances, most people react as best they can under the conditions that they have at that moment. Possibly, when you look back, you think, well, maybe that wasn't the best decision. But if you can figuratively look at everything that happened at the moment that you made that decision, I think the majority of people do the best that they can. I don't know if there's anything in my life that leads me to regret or want to change, because I really think I'm the type of person that really tries 1,000% across the board. And if there's a hardship or a decision that may have altered my path, maybe it was the decision that was meant to be, or maybe it was a test to give me more strength or to make me a better person. But I don't have regrets, and I don't know that I would want to change anything that I've experienced, because it makes me who I am today. I have 3 small boys. I have a 10, 8, and 4-year-old. And, you know, I want to offer them a better life. Not a better life than I had. For example, I think the life that I had in Romania, it made me who I am and gave me certain ethics and certain principles that I would want my children to live with. And I often think, what can I give to them? To leave them materialistic objects, it's not enough. To give them a law practice, it's not enough. I don't think we're placed on this earth just to perform a professional job and to leave valuables in terms of objects to our offspring. I want to give my kids an experience that makes them a better human and a person that can help others. You know, I think people who go through rough times, they either go left or right. They can become bitter and mean and angry because why did I have to go through this? Or they become like me, like they create a bubble and say, okay, this is just temporary, and you move forward and you want to give back because you didn't have. And actually, that's why I wanted to run for judge. I wanted to be a representative that you can do good, that you can, through hard work, achieve your goals, and that you can effectuate change and give people a voice, even the little people that are so insignificant. And I want this generation to believe that through maintaining your principles, you can still achieve, and hard work is still valued. Because today that's put it on the wayside, and personal gain is always at the forefront. But sometimes you have to take a step back and look, what am I doing for society? It's not always, what can you do for me? What can I get out of this? I really want people to know that life is a collective, and collective effort makes it better. But unless you have the support and you educate people to start thinking in that capacity, I don't see how it can go forward. So I'm doing my part through Children's International, who pairs up foreign schools with Romanian schools with US schools to make them more aware and to broaden their mind and educate them from an early age to global communication, and hopefully educate them that certain ethics and principles should be a priority, and that school, society, friends, family, collectively make our children grow as productive humans of the society.